Here is the truth nobody wants to say out loud. If you are making $900 a month, you are broke by Western European standards. You cannot afford to date in London, Paris, Amsterdam, or Stockholm. You cannot even afford to live in those cities, let alone take women on dates, maintain an apartment, or present yourself as someone worth dating. But here is what the travel bloggers and digital nomad influencers are not telling you. There are still parts of Europe, real European countries with European women, where $900 a month is not just survivable, it is actually enough to live decently and, yes, to date successfully. Not Western Europe, not Scandinavia, not the countries everyone fantasizes about, but real, legitimate European countries where the cost of living is low enough that your modest income gives you actual options. I am talking about Eastern Europe, the Balkans, former Soviet states, places where $900 a month puts you in the middle class by local standards, where women are beautiful, traditional, educated, and where economic reality means they are open to men who can provide stability even on modest Western incomes. So let me break down the only 6 European countries where $900 a month is actually enough, where you can afford an apartment, food, dates, and yes, where you can realistically meet and date women who are genuinely attractive and relationship-minded. Let's get into this, starting at number 6, Romania, specifically Bucharest, Cluj-Napoca, or Timișoara. These are real cities with universities, culture, nightlife, and costs that make $900 workable. Let me break down the budget reality. A decent one-bedroom apartment in a good neighborhood of Bucharest costs about $300 to $350 a month. In Cluj or Timișoara, maybe $250 to $300. Utilities run another $80 to $100. So you are looking at $400 maximum for housing and utilities. That leaves you $500 for everything else. Food is cheap if you shop at local markets and cook, maybe $150 to $200 a month. Public transport is about $20 monthly. That gives you $250 to $300 for dates, entertainment, clothes, miscellaneous expenses. It is tight, but it works. Now let's talk about why Romanian women would be interested in a man making $900 a month when the average Romanian salary is around $800 to $900. On paper, you are not offering significant economic advantage. But here's the thing. You are foreign. You have different perspective. You likely have skills that are marketable internationally. You represent possibility in ways local men do not. And Romanian women, particularly educated ones in cities, are very open to dating foreign men. Romanian women are stunning. They have this Mediterranean Slavic mix that creates gorgeous features. Dark hair, great bone structure. They take care of their appearance, and they are educated. Romania has good universities. These are not village girls desperate for escape. These are urban, sophisticated women. The culture is Latin. Romania is a Romance language country, culturally closer to Italy and France than to Slavic countries. This means the courtship style is familiar to Western men. It is less rigid than in more traditional Eastern European countries. Romanian women appreciate men who are cultured, who can have conversations, who treat them with respect. They are less impressed by flashy displays of wealth than by genuine character. If you are a decent guy who can hold a conversation, who has direction in life, who treats women well, you have a real shot. The dating culture in Romania is more relaxed than in deeply traditional countries. Women go to bars and clubs. They are on dating apps. They are open to meeting men in normal social situations. You are not navigating complicated family approval processes early on. Age gaps are acceptable, but not extreme. A 10 to 15-year gap is normal. 20 years starts to raise eyebrows. So if you are in your 30s or 40s dating women in their 20s or 30s, you are fine. The language barrier exists. Romanian is not widely spoken outside Romania, and while many young Romanians speak English, you will need to learn at least some Romanian for deeper integration. The good news is that Romanian is a Romance language. If you know any Spanish, Italian, or French, you can pick up basics relatively easily. The visa situation is manageable since Romania is in the EU. Americans get 90 days visa-free. After that, you need residence permit, which requires either employment, business ownership, marriage, or enrollment in Romanian university. It is not automatic, but it is doable. The downsides? Bucharest is not beautiful. It is concrete, communist blocks mixed with chaotic development. The infrastructure is dated. Corruption exists. Bureaucracy is frustrating. And $900 does not give you much cushion for emergencies or unexpected expenses. But for a Western man on limited budget who wants European women in a real European city where he can actually afford to date, Romania works. At number 5, Bulgaria. Specifically Sofia, Plovdiv, or Varna. This is the cheapest EU country and it shows in the budget math. A one-bedroom apartment in Sofia costs $250 to $300 in a decent area. Plovdiv is even cheaper, maybe $200 to $250. Varna on the Black Sea coast runs about the same as Sofia. Utilities are around $80. You are looking at $350 maximum for housing. Food costs are incredibly low. You can eat well on $120 to $150 a month if you cook. Markets have fresh produce for nothing. Restaurants are cheap, maybe $5 to $8 for a full meal. Public transport is $15 a month. So on $900, you are spending maybe $550 on basic living, leaving you $350 for discretionary spending. That is enough to date, to have a social life, to maintain yourself properly. Bulgarian women are beautiful. Slavic features, often tall. They take care of their appearance despite limited means. Sofia is full of attractive women in their 20s and 30s who are educated and speak English. The average Bulgarian salary is around $700 to $800 a month. So your $900 puts you slightly above average. Not wealthy, but stable. And stability matters in Bulgaria, which has dealt with economic struggles since communism ended. Here is what works in your favor. Bulgarian men often emigrate for work in Western Europe. The ones who stay often lack ambition or struggle with employment. There is heavy drinking culture. Bulgarian women, especially those with education and aspirations, look at local options and find them wanting. A Western man, even one making modest income, represents something different. Different perspective, different values, less drinking, more stability. Bulgarian women who want to improve their situations are open to foreign men. The culture is Slavic and Orthodox Christian, which means more traditional gender roles than in Western Europe women expect men to pursue, to pay for dates initially, to lead. But Bulgarian women also work and contribute. They are not looking for someone to completely support them. They want partners who can build with them. Dating in Bulgaria is straightforward. Women are on apps like Tinder and Badoo. They go to cafes and bars. Sofia has active nightlife. You can meet women through normal social channels without complicated traditional processes. Age gaps are acceptable within reason. 10 to 15 years is normal. Beyond that, it depends on the woman and circumstances. Bulgarian women are practical. They care more about whether you are a good man than your exact age. The language is challenging. Bulgarian uses Cyrillic alphabet and Slavic grammar. It is not easy for English speakers, but many young Bulgarians speak English, especially in Sofia. You can function initially in English while learning Bulgarian over time. The visa situation is EU standard. 90 days visa-free, then you need residence permit employment, business registration, or marriage are the main paths. Bulgaria is trying to attract remote workers and digital nomads, so there are developing visa options for that. The climate varies. Sofia gets cold winters and hot summers. Plovdiv is more moderate. Varna has Mediterranean coastal climate. If weather matters to you, choose accordingly. The downsides? Bulgaria is poor. Infrastructure is rough outside major cities. Corruption is endemic. Healthcare is basic. The country feels more developing than developed. And Bulgarian pessimism is real. The culture can be heavy, fatalistic. This is not sunny, optimistic Latin culture. But for rock-bottom costs in an EU country with beautiful Slavic women who are open to foreign men, Bulgaria delivers. Coming in at number 4, North Macedonia. And I know what you are thinking. Where even is that? It is in the Balkans, bordered by Serbia, Bulgaria, Greece, Albania. The capital is Skopje, and it is shockingly affordable. An apartment in Skopje costs $200 to $250 for something decent. In smaller cities like Bitola or Ohrid, even less utilities are maybe $70. Your housing cost is under $350 easily. Food is incredibly cheap. Fresh produce, bread, cheese, meat, all locally produced and affordable. You can eat well on $100 to $120 monthly if you cook. Restaurants are dirt cheap, $4 to $6 for a meal. Public transport is almost free, maybe $10 a month. On $900 in North Macedonia, you are spending maybe $500 on basics, leaving $400 for discretionary. That is more cushion than in Bulgaria or Romania. You can actually save money while living there. The average Macedonian salary is around $500 to $600 monthly. Your $900 makes you solidly middle class, maybe upper middle class. You have real economic advantage. Macedonian women are beautiful. This is Balkan genetics meeting Mediterranean climate. Dark features, strong bone structure, they are stunning, and the culture emphasizes feminine appearance. Women dress well, wear makeup, take pride in looking good. The gender ratio favors men because so many Macedonian men have emigrated for work in Germany, Austria, Switzerland. The women who remain, especially educated urban women, have limited local options. Macedonian culture is traditional. Family is central. Orthodox Christianity influences values. Women want marriage and children. They want men who will provide and protect. They are not interested in ambiguous modern relationships. This traditionalism works for men who want clear gender roles. You pursue, you lead, you provide. She supports, nurtures, maintains the home. These roles are understood and accepted without constant negotiation. The dating scene is less developed than in Romania or Bulgaria. Fewer people on dating apps. More meeting through social circles or traditional settings. But Skopje is small enough that integrating into social scenes is possible. Cafes, bars, cultural events. You can meet people organically. Age gaps are very acceptable. 15 to 20 years is normal. Macedonian culture respects age. Older men are seen as more stable, more serious, better providers. The language is Slavic, related to Bulgarian and Serbian. It uses Cyrillic alphabet. It is challenging but not impossible. Many young Macedonians speak some English. You will need to learn Macedonian for serious relationships and family integration. The visa situation is reasonable. Americans get 90 days visa-free. Extensions are possible. Long-term, you need residence permit through employment, marriage, or business ownership. Macedonia is outside EU, so bureaucracy is more flexible, which can actually make things easier. The country is beautiful. Lake Ohrid is stunning. The mountains are gorgeous. Skopje itself is weird, with this bizarre redevelopment project that created fake neoclassical buildings everywhere, but it has charm. The downsides? Macedonia is poor, really poor. Infrastructure is rough. Healthcare is basic. Political situation between ethnic Macedonians and ethnic Albanians creates tension. The country feels forgotten, left behind by European development. But for absolute rock-bottom costs with traditional Balkan women who want serious relationships, North Macedonia delivers. At number 3, Albania. I have talked about Albania before, but it deserves mention here because $900 goes incredibly far. An apartment in Tirana costs $250 to $300 for a decent place. In smaller cities like Durrës or Vlore, maybe $200. Utilities are about $60 to $80. Your housing is under $400. Food is cheap because Albania produces a lot locally. Fresh vegetables, fruit, meat, dairy, all affordable. You can eat well on $100 to $120 if you cook. Restaurants are $5 to $7 for good meals. Transport is minimal cost. You are spending maybe $550 on basics, leaving $350 for discretionary. More than enough for dating, social life, and building savings. Average Albanian salary is $400 to $500 monthly. Your $900 makes you wealthy by local standards, not just comfortable, wealthy. This economic advantage matters significantly. Albanian women are gorgeous. Mediterranean features, dark hair, great bone structure, they are stunning. And they are traditional in the extreme family-oriented, wanting marriage and children, believing in clear gender roles. The male shortage is real in Albania. Massive emigration means educated women in Tirana have terrible local options. The men are gone, broke, or living with parents at 35 with no prospects. Western men represent opportunity, stability, maturity, resources. Albanian women, especially those in their late 20s and 30s who are ready for marriage, are very open to foreign men. The culture is nominally Muslim, but not practicing. Religion is cultural identity, not daily practice. This is not Middle Eastern Islam. Albanian women date, drink alcohol, dress however they want. The Muslim label is misleading. Dating in Albania is traditional. You meet family early. Intentions matter. Women want to know where relationships are going. No ambiguous situationships. You are moving toward marriage or you are wasting time. Age gaps of 20 years are normal and accepted. Albanian culture respects older men. They are seen as more serious, more capable providers, more stable. A 45-year-old man with a 28-year-old woman raises no eyebrows. The language is difficult. Albanian is its own language family, not related to anything else. It is hard. But many young Albanians speak English, especially in Tirana. You can function initially while learning Albanian slowly. The visa situation is excellent. Americans get 1 year visa-free. You can stay for 365 days, leave briefly, come back for another year. This makes Albania easy for testing out life there. The country is beautiful. Beaches rival Greece. Mountains in north are stunning. Tirana is energetic and growing. There is optimism as Albania works toward EU membership. The downsides? Albania is poor. Infrastructure is rough outside Tirana. Corruption exists. Healthcare is limited. Some areas have clan-based traditional culture that can be intense. Traffic in Tirana is absolutely chaotic. But for Mediterranean lifestyle at third world prices, with traditional women who want marriage, Albania is hard to beat on $900 monthly at number 2, Serbia. Specifically Belgrade, but also Niš, Novi Sad, or Kragujevac. Serbia offers something special, real urban culture at developing country prices. A one-bedroom apartment in Belgrade costs $300 to $350 in a decent neighborhood. In Niš or Kragujevac, maybe $200 to $250. Utilities run about $80 to $100. Your housing is around $450 maximum in Belgrade, less elsewhere. Food costs are low. Local markets have fresh produce cheap. Cooking at home costs maybe $120 to $150 monthly. Serbian restaurants are affordable, $6 to $10 for good meals. Public transport is cheap, about $20 monthly. On $900 in Belgrade, you are tight but functional. You are spending about $650 on basics, leaving $250 for discretionary. It works if you are careful. In smaller Serbian cities, you have much more cushion. Average Serbian salary is $500 to $600. Your $900 puts you above average, not wealthy, but comfortably middle class. Serbian women are beautiful. Slavic features, tall, elegant. They take care of themselves. Belgrade is full of gorgeous women who dress well and maintain their appearance despite economic limitations. The dating market favors foreign men for several reasons. Many Serbian men emigrated after the wars and economic struggles of the 90s and 2000s. The ones who remain often deal with unemployment, heavy drinking, post-conflict trauma. Serbian women, especially educated ones, find local options frustrating. A Western man represents something different. Stability without the heaviness. Resources without the dysfunction. Serbian women who want to build families look at foreign men as legitimate, often superior options. Serbian culture is traditional Orthodox Christian. Gender roles are clear. Men lead and provide, women support and nurture. But Serbian women are not submissive. They are strong, opinionated, intelligent. They want traditional structure but within respectful partnership. The dating scene in Belgrade is active. Women use apps. They go to cafes and bars. The city has nightlife. You can meet women through normal channels. The culture is direct. If a Serbian woman is interested, she will make it clear age gaps are very acceptable. 15 to 20 years is normal. Serbian culture respects age and maturity. Older men are seen as more serious, more stable, better long-term partners. The language is Slavic and challenging. Serbian uses both Cyrillic and Latin alphabets, which is confusing. But many young Serbians speak English, especially in Belgrade. You can function initially while learning Serbian over time. The visa situation is reasonable. Americans get 90 days visa-free. Extensions are possible but require bureaucratic navigation. Long-term requires residence permit through employment, business, or marriage. Serbia is outside EU, so there is more flexibility. Belgrade is a real city with culture, history, nightlife, energy. It is not some backwater. You can build an actual life there. The city is walkable, has cafes and restaurants, has things to do. You will not be bored. The downsides? Serbia is still recovering from wars and sanctions. Infrastructure is dated. Air quality in Belgrade can be terrible in winter. Political situation is complicated. Healthcare is basic. And $900 does not give you much cushion in Belgrade specifically. But for Slavic beauty, traditional values, real urban culture, and women who are genuinely open to foreign men, Serbia delivers on limited budget. At number 1, the absolute best European country where $900 lands you a girlfriend, Moldova. Moldova is the poorest country in Europe. Average salary is $400 to $500 monthly. Your $900 makes you wealthy, not comfortable, not middle class, wealthy by local standards. An apartment in Chisinau costs $250 to $300 for a nice place. Utilities are maybe $70. Your housing is under $400 for something genuinely good. Food is incredibly cheap because Moldova is agricultural. Fresh produce, meat, dairy, wine, all produced locally and dirt cheap. You can eat extremely well on $100 monthly. Restaurants are $4 to $6 for full meals. Transport is almost free. On $900 in Moldova, you are spending maybe $550 on living expenses, leaving $350 for discretionary. You can date, you can save money, you can actually build financial cushion while living there. But the budget advantage is just one factor. The real story is the women and the demographics. Moldovan women are absolutely stunning. They have Romanian Slavic Turkish genetic mix that creates gorgeous features, tall, elegant, high cheekbones, beautiful. And they maintain their appearance despite poverty. They dress well, wear makeup, take pride in femininity. The male shortage in Moldova is severe. Men emigrated in massive numbers for work in Russia, Romania, Italy, anywhere. The ones who stayed often struggle with alcoholism and unemployment. Moldovan women, even beautiful educated ones in their 30s, have terrible local options. The desperation is not the right word, but the openness to foreign men is extreme. Age gaps of 20 to 30 years are common and accepted. You will see 60-year-old Western men with 35-year-old Moldovan girlfriends regularly. Nobody thinks it is strange. Why are Moldovan women so open to foreign men, including older foreign men? Pure economic reality combined with limited alternatives. They want stability. They want someone who can provide. They want escape from economic struggle. They want partners who are sober and employed. A Western man making $900 offers all of this. He makes double what most Moldovan families make. He has stability. He has resources. He represents opportunity. Moldovan women are traditional in the extreme Soviet-era values mixed with Orthodox Christianity. They believe in gender roles. They want to take care of home and children. They want men who lead and provide. They are not influenced by feminism. This traditionalism appeals to men who want clear structures. You pursue. You pay for dates. You make decisions. You provide. She supports, cooks, maintains home, raises children. These roles are understood and unquestioned. The dating culture is less developed than in wealthier countries. Fewer people on apps, more meeting through social connections, or just approaching women in public. But Chisinau is small enough that integration is possible. Cafes, parks, cultural events, you can meet people. Moldovan women are also less jaded than women in more popular destinations. Moldova is not on the map for foreign men the way Thailand or Philippines are. You are novel. Women are genuinely interested, not performing a routine. The cultural gap is manageable. Moldova is European, Christian, with values that align reasonably with traditional Western values. The food is familiar. The alphabet is Latin, not Cyrillic. Romanian is the official language, and it is easier for English speakers than Slavic languages. Many Moldovans speak Russian from Soviet times. Some young people speak English. You can function initially while learning Romanian, which is a Romance language and thus easier to pick up if you know any Spanish, Italian, or French. The visa situation is reasonable. Americans get 90 days visa-free. Extensions possible. Long-term requires residence permit, but Moldova is outside EU, so bureaucracy is more flexible. Marriage to Moldovan gives you straightforward path to residence. Chisinau is not beautiful, but it is functional. Soviet architecture, wide boulevards, parks. It has cafes and restaurants. It has culture. You will not be bored, though it is certainly not Paris or Prague. The country is beautiful in parts. Wine country is lovely. Monasteries are gorgeous. Orhyle Vechi is stunning. You can travel within Moldova easily and cheaply. The downsides are significant. Moldova is poor, really poor. Infrastructure is dated. Healthcare is limited, though you can cross into Romania for better care. Corruption is everywhere. Political tension between pro-EU and pro-Russian factions creates instability. Winters are cold and gray. The country feels forgotten. But for a Western man with limited budget who wants beautiful traditional European women who are genuinely open to relationships, who will appreciate what he offers, who want to build families, Moldova is unmatched. On $900 monthly, you are not just surviving in Moldova. You are thriving. You have economic advantage that translates directly into dating advantage. You have options you would never have anywhere else on that income. Let me address what we are really talking about here because we need to be honest. These relationships are built significantly on economic disparity. You are making $900 monthly, which is poverty wages in America or Western Europe. You cannot date successfully on that income in your home country. You cannot afford to present yourself as someone desirable. You are economically at the bottom. But in these 6 countries, $900 gives you middle-class or even upper-class status. This changes everything about how women perceive you. You are not broke. You are stable. You are a good prospect. Is this exploitative? That depends entirely on how you handle it. If you treat these women with respect, if you are honest about your situation, if you genuinely care about their well-being, if you build real relationships, then no, both people are benefiting. She gets economic stability and partnership. You get companionship and relationship you could not get at home. But if you are lying about your income, treating women as purchasable commodities, being exploitative or abusive, then yes, it is wrong. The economic disparity is real and it matters. But economic factors are part of almost all relationships. People marry for financial security. People marry to improve their situations. This is not new or unique to international relationships. What matters is honesty, respect, and genuine care. If you have those, these relationships can be ethical and mutually beneficial. Let me get practical about making this work on $900 because it requires discipline. You need to budget carefully, track every expense. Know exactly where money goes. There is no room for impulse purchases or financial stupidity on this income. You need to cook at home most of the time. Eating out should be occasional treat, not daily habit. Learn to shop at local markets, buy seasonal produce, cook simple meals. You need to avoid expensive habits. Drinking at bars every night will destroy your budget. Smoking is expensive. Any drug habits are impossible on this income. You need to be strategic about dating coffee dates, not expensive dinners initially. Walks in parks, free cultural events. Save the expensive dates for when relationships are serious. You need to maintain your appearance without spending much. Get cheap haircuts locally. Buy clothes at local markets, not Western brands. Take care of what you have. You need to avoid lifestyle inflation. Just because you can afford something does not mean you should buy it. The goal is sustainability, not impressing people. You also need backup plans. What happens if you have medical emergency? What if you need to fly home suddenly? You need savings. On $900, this is difficult but essential. Try to save $50 to $100 monthly, even if it is hard. You need to understand that this lifestyle has limitations. You cannot travel extensively. You cannot help her family much financially. You cannot have expensive hobbies. You are choosing sustainability and relationship access over freedom and comfort. Be honest with women about your situation. Do not pretend to have more than you do. The truth will come out anyway. Women in these countries are practical. They can work with $900 if they know that is the reality. Let me talk about visas because this is crucial and often overlooked. All 6 of these countries give Americans 90-day visa-free entry. But 90 days is not enough to build serious relationship and get married. You need longer. In EU countries like Romania and Bulgaria, overstaying is illegal and has consequences. You need residence permit to stay longer. This requires employment, business ownership, enrollment in university, or marriage. None of these are quick or easy. In non-EU countries like Serbia, Albania, Moldova, and North Macedonia, there is more flexibility. Visa extensions are sometimes possible. Border runs work in some cases. The rules are less strict and enforcement is less rigorous. But even in flexible countries, you cannot stay indefinitely as tourist. Eventually, you need legal status. And on $900 monthly, your options are limited. Marriage is the most straightforward path to legal residence. But marriage requires relationship, and relationship requires time. This creates a catch-22. You need time to build relationship, but you need relationship to get time. The practical solution is multiple trips. Come for 90 days. Leave. Come back for 90 days. Repeat until relationship is serious enough for marriage. This requires money for flights, which is difficult on $900 budget. Alternatively, look into residence permit options. Some countries have freelancer or digital nomad visas that might work if you can document remote income. Some have retiree visas if you are old enough. Research specific options for your situation. Do not overstay illegally. It creates problems if you want to marry and get residence later. Do things properly, even though it is harder. Let me be direct about language because it matters more than most men realize. You can function initially in English in capital cities. Young people speak English. You can date. You can handle basics. But you cannot integrate. You cannot build deep relationships. You cannot communicate with her family. You remain perpetual outsider. If you are serious about building life in any of these countries, you must learn the local language. Not fluently, not perfectly, but conversationally. Romanian is easiest for English speakers. It is a Romance language. If you know Spanish or Italian, you can pick it up relatively quickly, even without. It is learnable. Bulgarian and Macedonian are harder. Slavic languages with Cyrillic alphabets and complex grammar. But young people often speak English, and you can get by initially. Serbian is similar difficulty to Bulgarian. Cyrillic alphabet plus Latin alphabet creates confusion, but the grammar and vocabulary overlap with other Slavic languages. Albanian is its own beast. It is not related to anything else. Unique grammar, unique vocabulary. It is hard. But Albanians appreciate effort enormously, and even broken Albanian goes a long way. Moldovan is Romanian, so same as Romania. Latin alphabet, Romance language, relatively approachable. Invest in language learning from day one. Use apps like Duolingo or Pimsleur. Hire cheap tutors locally. Practice with your girlfriend. Make it a priority. The more language you learn, the better your relationships will be and the more integrated you will become. On $900 budget, you cannot afford expensive language courses, but you can afford apps and occasional tutors. Make it work. In all 6 of these countries, family is central. You cannot date a woman without her family becoming involved quickly. This is both advantage and challenge. Advantage because families provide support, connection, community. Challenge because families have opinions, expectations, and sometimes demands. When you meet her family, you will be evaluated. Can he provide? Is he serious? Is he respectful? Will he treat her well? The family decides whether to approve the relationship. Your $900 income will come up, directly or indirectly. They will want to know if you can support their daughter. Be honest, explain your situation. Show you are responsible with money, even if the amount is modest. Families in these countries are practical. They know local economy. They know local men are often worse options. If you are stable, responsible, and genuinely care for their daughter, many families will approve even on modest income. But be prepared for family expectations. Help with expenses sometimes. Contribute to family gatherings. Show respect to elders. Participate in family life. This is not optional if you want the relationship to work. On $900, you cannot be the family ATM. Set boundaries. But also show generosity within your means. Bring gifts when visiting. Help with small things when possible. Show you are part of the family without bankrupting yourself. Let me talk about what actually makes these relationships successful when they work. First, honesty. Be honest about your income, your situation, your limitations. Do not pretend to be wealthier than you are. The truth will come out, and dishonesty destroys relationships. Second, respect. Treat her as human being, not trophy or servant. Learn about her culture. Respect her family. Value her opinions. Respect makes relationships work regardless of economic disparities. Third, integration. Learn the language. Participate in culture. Make local friends. Show you are committed to being there, not just using the country as cheap dating ground. Fourth, financial responsibility. Manage your $900 carefully. Do not waste money. Show you are responsible even with limited resources. This builds trust and respect. Fifth, clear intentions. These cultures value clarity. If you want serious relationship leading to marriage, say so. If you are not sure, be honest about that. Do not waste women's time. Sixth, realistic expectations. You are not going to date supermodels in their early 20s when you are broke and 50. Be realistic about who is interested and why. Build genuine connections with women who are realistic matches. Seventh, contribution beyond money. Money matters, but it is not everything. Be interesting, be kind, be helpful, be good company. Contribute to her life in ways beyond financial. The men who succeed are those who embrace limitations while maximizing what they offer. They are honest, respectful, culturally engaged, financially responsible, and realistic. They build genuine relationships despite economic limitations. If you are a Western man making $900 monthly, your dating options at home are essentially zero. You cannot afford the lifestyle required to date successfully in Western countries. But in Romania, Bulgaria, North Macedonia, Albania, Serbia, and Moldova, $900 is workable. You can afford to live. You can afford to date. And you can meet women who are beautiful, traditional, and genuinely open to relationships. These relationships require honesty, respect, and realistic expectations. But they are possible, and they can be genuinely good for everyone involved. Your income does not have to define your entire life. Location matters. In the right places, modest income provides opportunities that simply do not exist elsewhere. Thanks for watching.